I just want to review for a minute. We looked at 151 last time, 151, and I just want to go over the last two lines of 151. I want to just ask one question, or if I asked you, what are you doing in the world? What are you doing here? Why are you here? This is a question that came up a few weeks ago. I came across a piece in Maral, Prague, and in the Ari, and these are two things that in my life they were never emphasized. It's incredible. What's incredible?
The horns, they don't stop.
The windows are open, you should close them, it didn't help.
So what?
I've been in the yeshiva world since I'm 4 years old. I was fortunate enough to be sent to kindergarten in the yeshiva, and I've been in the yeshiva world since then. I've been around for a while. I had all kinds of very chashuv rabbanim teaching me, rosh yeshivas, dayanim, and two areas which I'm going to talk about now for a moment, and something is mentioned about it here on the pages in front of you. Whenever, maybe I mean, my memory is not like Rav Yosef. I can't remember as much as he remembered. I once heard him on a radio show. He was answering questions coming from the tzibur all over the country. He was just sitting there on the radio, people asking him questions. And not only is he answering the questions, he's quoting texts, quoting word for word texts. So after a few minutes, I don't know, the moderator who has him as a guest says, Rabotai, I want to tell you something. The rabbi is sitting here without swearing, and he's quoting text word for word. That was Rav Yosef, the grandfather. There's another Rav Yosef, he has a grandson, which is the same name. Doesn't have the same memory that his father had, grandfather, but he's also in that category. But anyway, so I can't say that I'm anywhere near any one of the Yovadias at all, but I don't remember. I mean, this is something that I would remember it because it's so important, and it was never brought to my attention as something being, a major, I would say, a major pattern of thought that you'd have in your mind all the time. So I asked you this question when we started off: what are we doing here? What am I doing here? Everybody's here for a reason. What are we here for? So there's two answers. And if you take a look at the page in front of you, 151 in paragraph Kuf Aleph, you take a look at the Kuf Aleph 3 lines before the end. Let's start at the beginning of Kuf Aleph. It's a nice paragraph. Yeah, let's start at Kuf Aleph again. Let's take a look at Kuf Aleph. Look at Kuf Aleph in front of you. When you're davening Shmona Esrei, you have to try as much as you can to be disconnected from the physical world. As if your feet are lifted off the ground and you're just floating. You're up there, you're not here at all. That's how it should be ideally. You don't feel or realize that your feet are on the ground. And this is what is meant in Pirkei Avos. It's a beautiful pshat from the Baal Shem Tov. Beautiful pshat. What does he say? In ein ani li mili. Now that is taken to be understood in the following way. Young man, take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, don't expect anybody else to do it for you. You got to be independent. Who's going to take care of me? I got to take care of myself. That's the simple shot. There's truth to that also. Don't be dependent on others. Be independent as much as you can. But that's not what the Baal Shem Tov came to tell us. Take a look what he says here. Klomar. He's going to use this as an explanation of how a person should daven. Klomar. Kishani avo lemadrega. Shelo edav argiz klal im ani li. If I come to the level that I'm talking about, that I don't realize that I am here. In ein ani li. I'm not for myself. I know. Im ani ba'olam hazeh im lav. I don't know about it. I'm detached. I don't know. I'm not connected to the world. V'vaday ein lum ein li shum pachad mimachshava zoros. Then I'm not afraid that people are going to disturb me or all kinds of thoughts that come to my mind. Why? If I'm not in this world, what's going to disturb me? I'm not here. There's nobody to disturb. I'm not here. So how can thoughts come into my mind? Who's going to come bother me? What's going on? But if I am very conscious of myself, I realize I have 2 feet on the ground, and I'm here, and I am the davar chashuv, and I'm not detached as I should be. I realize I am something. Don't just push me off. I'm something. I have a reality in this world. Then it's just the opposite. Then you're really nothing at all. If I'm not for myself, I'm detached from this world, who's going to bother me? But if I am for myself, the answer is Mali. What are you really? What are you? What's the number? Mani chashuv. Who am I? What am I? Because I'm just pushed aside, they're just being involved with me, and my mind isn't functioning the way it's supposed to. Look at that. Next line. This is the punchline. Ki ikar brias adam ba'olam hazeh hu la'avodas Hashem yisbarach. Varei einani yachol avodah myself, but I can't do it. Why? Machmas machshava zoros. I'm valvelosi. I have all these things. I can't really concentrate. I can't focus. I have all these things in my mind. I'm thinking about I have to go to the makolet, and I have to go to the shuk, and I have to take care of this and take care of that, and this telephone call, and that telephone call. I have to speak to him. All this happening in the village monastery. Okay, so this is just scratching the surface. It's just scratching the surface. What are you telling you here? He's telling us here that what are you here on this world for? This is not a full answer. It's not a full answer. He says you're here for avodas Hashem, but how can you do avodas Hashem when Hashem wants to have your heart and your mind, your hafta Hashem b'chol levavcha, but your mind is completely out of it. You're thinking about this and that. I got to finish this one essay as soon as I can. I have to take care of my things. I got to go through it. That's the Seder. You come and shul, you daven one essay, you finish it up 1, 2, 3, then you get into your own inyanim that you have to take care of. Obviously, that's not a Shmona Esrei, it's not a Tefillah. And this is not a complete answer. You came here to the world for what is Hashem. The Arizal says in another place, he says, everybody has in this world a mission. We all have a mission. Everybody has a specific mission And we have different ones, different missions. And there are trillions upon trillions upon trillions of different missions. Because there are that many people in the world, living, dying, recycling, coming back again. Everybody has a specific mission to accomplish in this world. And what is that mission? It may be connected to the world that we're living in, but more properly, it's connected to the Olam Esra'el. Before this world was created, there was a spiritual world. The physical world came into existence through the Big Bang theory is the very, very bottom of the totem pole. Very, very bottom. There's a lot that went on way, way beforehand. And in that spiritual world, there were what we call Shvirat HaKelim. There were creations and destructions. It would have been better had they not been destroyed, but that's what happened. They were destroyed. And we have been given the mission to reconstruct that destruction. We have to reconstruct it. That is what we are doing here. That's why we're here in the world. That's the truth.
Birur Netzutzim?
Huh?
Birur Netzutzim?
And that's part of it. That's part of it. But it's really called Tikkun Olam. It's the Olam Esra'el. And we're all here for a specific reason, and we all have a specific place in Shemayim that only we can be metaken, nobody else. That's the real reason we're here. So, if you're going to be thinking about yourself, Kshanila Atzmi, all I'm interested in is taking care of myself as a mani. What are you? You missed the whole point. You missed the entire point. So, the Baal Shem Tov says we're here for Avodas Hashem, but he doesn't tell you what the avodah is. What is the Ikar reason for our in the world? Ikar B'yat Adam Ozeh, Avodas Hashem is bara. What is that avodah? Then he doesn't tell us what the avodah is. The answer is Hashem sent us down here so we could make the tikkun. He left it for us. We have to make the tikkun olam. It's our job, and it doesn't take only one time. You may have to come back a few times to do it. But that's the way it is. There's so much that happened up there. We have no musag. We have no idea. And that's why it's trillions and upon trillions of people over the generations. Everything has to be worked out somehow, and it is worked out. That the more we do, the more we metakim.
That's my assignment to work in marriage.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's simple. Vaday.
Vaday. They cut off.
Huh?
Come in an envelope somewhere, and then we know the specific assignment.
Oh, so that's a good question. How do you know what is your mission? Do you have any indication of what your mission is? The answer is there are indications, but it's not a proof. You only get a proof. You have to have a Navi, you have to have someone who's up there who tells you, you're connected to that, you do this and do that. What the indications are, a person has to be aware of himself. You have to be a little bit introspective and get a good picture of how you live your life and see where you have pullings towards. That could be positive, it could be negative. But you have certain tendencies or desires or inclinations for certain things, and it's while you have those inclinations, but somebody else won't. They'll have different inclinations. So the things you have inclinations for, if they're good, you have to make them better. If they're bad, you have to overcome them. You have to erase them, cancel them, disconnect from them. Those are indications of what your mission is in the world. Where you have your natural inclination, you're born with that. You're born with that. Why do you feel it? I don't feel it. Why I feel, you don't feel it. It's not just a coincidence. There's a reason for it. But your neshama feels it, my neshama feels it, and he's trying to get the message across to us. So when you have a feeling about doing something good and you enjoy it, and you know that this is something that can be very pleasing to Hashem, do it better. Do it better. It doesn't even have to be an official mitzvah. It can be an hagatova, with custom, whatever it is. It can be a good midah of derech eretz of some kind. If you're good at it, do it better. And if you know that you have a tendency to do something wrong, then you were sent down here to correct that also. Correct it, and that's it. Okay, so that's the first, yeah.
Let's suppose that somebody has the feeling, just the feeling, he knows what his mission is. And let's say he's or accomplishing or not accomplishing. Let's say he did accomplish.
We did?
Let's say he did. What's then?
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? You never finished. How do you know? How do you know?
So there might be more than one.
Well, no. How do you know that you accomplished it? What?
You never know, but you can feel.
It's very difficult to say that I'm perfect. There's nothing more for me to do. How can you say such a thing? I have come to the maximum. There's nothing more I can do. There's always you can go better. Always can go more. There's no such thing. You have to keep on doing it until I may have answered. Okay, that's one thing that's very important for us to realize. And most, as I said, my entire world in the yeshiva, from the time I was 4 years old, I went through, got smicha, had rabbanim, chashiv rabbanim, rosh yeshivas, dayanim, my teachers. I never heard that from any one of them, as far as I remember. Not one taught me that, not one. The second thing, said the Maral Prague, was that it's a very, very important part of a Jew's life, and it's very important as far as Davening is concerned. It's one of the mitzvahs, the rice of the Torah. It appears in Dvarim in 3 different psukim. One it says, Ubos Tidbak. The other one says, Ubos Tidbakun. And the third time it says, Uladov Kabot. The word devek means paste, glue. We make the bracha, we learn Torah. We're taught to learn Torah. It's very important to learn Torah. You learn Torah, you're doing a mitzvah, you know how to behave, you know what's good and what's bad. Do we realize, when we make the bracha, it says, Baruch atah Hashem, no sein haTorah.
Constant.
It's in present tense. We talk about the past. Baruch haba mikol b'nosan when it was Torah. So He gave us the Torah, our Sinai. He chose Am Yisrael to be the chosen nation. When we end the bracha, we say, Baruch atah Hashem, no sein haTorah. He's giving it all the time. It's not only that He chose once, and it's a historical event. It's something that's going on a day-to-day process all the time. We are always getting this current, this connection from Hashem. He's giving us the Torah all the time. And we have to be connected to that. This is the mitzvah, the Raisa. It's one of the Torah mitzvahs, Ubal Tidbas. You have to be davuk to Hashem, to the giver. You have to be connected all the time. This helps you a lot in fulfilling the mission that you came down to the world for. If you're connected to Him, to the dvekas to Him, then you'll go ahead and you'll do the mission. You'll try to make the tikkun in the olamos and fulfill that chesara that you have, or improve on the mana that you have, whatever it is. Those two things are vital, vital, vital. And he says, the Baal Shem Tov here, let's take a look at this again. Look at 151, the page in front of you.
Yeah, you can.
He's talking about how do you deal with all of these machshavos coming to your mind. I want to daven, and I'm thinking about so many things. When I wake up, I'm at the end of Shemona Esrei already. I don't remember what I said, what I didn't say. The answer is why? Why is that so? Because you're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about yourself. That is a form of avodah zarah. You didn't come down to this world to take care of yourself. You came down to this world to make a tikkun in the other Yisrael Yavin. And you have certain tendencies. And you have to realize what those tendencies are. And therefore, forget about this world in yourself. Just think about what you are sent to do here. If you think what you're sent to do here and you don't think about yourself, then no one's going to bother you. No one's going to bother you. When do they bother you? When you try to make yourself something of importance and you're a Adam Chashuv, then they're going to come and bother you. But if it ain't Anili, I'm not for myself. I didn't come here for myself. Meaning, who's going to bother me? Who's going to disturb my mind? They're not going to bother with me. I'm not here as anything independent. I'm only here for him, that's all. To do it. What is Hashem? But what Hashem is, you understand. Okay.
What about Vayeshua? What about Vayeshua and the creator in Bereshit?
Yeah.
That to conquer the world, to Vayeshua.
I don't see that word he's saying. Which word?
Vayeshua.
Yeshua, to conquer the world?
Yes. It says at the beginning. In Bereshit.
Oh, to settle the world. You mean to settle the world? Okay, fine. But that's only a step so that you can make the tikkunim, remove all the nitzaitzas. You have to have everything, which of course, yeah. All right.
You have to get an apartment, you have to get an education, you have to get insurance, you have to do all these things.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes. But what's going to be in the back of your mind? What's going to be, why do I have to do all these things? What am I going to do with them once I have them?
And I'm really studying.
I want to have them so they will help me in my avodas Hashem. I'm not here for it itself. This is not the end. I finally got an apartment. I got the new car. I got it. What now? What? You're going to show off that you have a new car? What now? I need the car for avodas Hashem. I don't need the car for myself. I need the car for avodas Hashem. It takes me to shul. It takes me to do mitzvahs. I have to go and do errands. I have to help my wife, whatever it is. I have the car to be avodas Hashem. Everything is here to make my tikkun. That's what I'm here for. That's it. Not for myself. Once you have that, then he says, the machshavos zoros will lessen or they'll cease to come. Because you're not thinking about yourself. You don't think about yourself, then you have that connection, you have double to him. That's a protection that keeps off all of the machshavos zoros, and you'll have much more success. Life will be much more pleasant. More pleasant. All right, that is 151.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What about sort of intermediate level? Not thinking about oneself, but one's wife, one's children, one's grandchildren. These are people that are close to me, that are very important. They're not the whole world, but it's part of man. It's about that all the time.
No, yeah, but it's really your self-expanding. That's part of you. It's part of you. It's expanded. But you have to use them as a part of the plan to serve Hashem. It's all part of it. Okay, it's a mitzvah. Plural, have children. Okay? Okay, so I have children. It's nice to have a son, to have a daughter, and good. What now? What do I have to have it for? What's the purpose?
Now there.
Just to have a continuation? What's the purpose? What's the purpose?
Purpose is to
Yes.
teach.
Yeah, but what's the purpose? What's the
Purpose is to teach them so they can teach the next generation.
Well, we just had it not long ago. Very good. L'mana sheyitzave es bonav es beisu achrov v'shomu derech Hashem laso stako mishpat. That's what Avram said. What do we have to have children for? So they can continue on the avodah.
Binyan Adar.
That's right. So they continue on the avodah. Not for them, not for me, not so I can enjoy my children, to have children to enjoy it. No. I know I won't live forever. If I live forever, then I don't need the children. I'll do it myself. But I'm not going to live forever. I need someone to continue on my job after I go. They have to take over my job. That's why you have to have children. They have to make their tikkunim also. But to make the tikkunim,
So why is not compulsory for a woman? She's got the same duty that we have to keep Binyan Ada'at.
That true?
But
Yes.
it's compulsory for men to marry.
To have children, but approval was on of a man. Why women have why is but the women wasn't a heter? Let me see. If I remember correctly, we see why women are not matzulim approval. I don't remember right now the answer. I mean, but you're right. It's only for men having mitzvah approval, not for women. But without the women, it can't be mekuyim.
Okay.
Yeah. So woman doesn't have
Not they say because they are suffering from birth and they say God should be
no,
this is that
no.
childish.
No.
I'm asking because I have two daughters which are not married,
Yeah.
and I think about this. The Binyan Adam, where is it?
All right, but then they have to say to Hashem, they have to say to Hashem in their tefillas,
Yeah. Okay.
we want to have children who the mitzvah pruvu would be mishtatev in the mitzvah, even if you don't have the mitzvah. A woman is becoming the mitzvah, even though she doesn't have the tzivur. And if you do a mitzvah that you're part from doing it, you still have a mitzvah. It's not the same as if you have.
I have a
You're shuttev in the mitzvah too.
I have a friend.
Yeah.
He's kind of a rabbi. He's got a daughter, which is Shomrei Mitzvot Legamre. She decided she was not married. She decided to have a child. So
Out of marriage.
yes, but not
Not with it, not the issue.
not based, not based.
The injection, right? Injection.
Yes.
No. I mean, that's well, what can I tell you? There's something to it. There is. I mean, it has a positive side to it that she wants to make a contribution to Am Yisrael, to the world. That's fine, but there's so many problems, with such a kind of a process. How do you know who's? I mean, how do you know who's zero you're getting? What a guarantee. I mean, that's not the way Hashem planned it to be. Hashem planned it to be that it should be Zachar and Nekeva that produce a child. That's when, nothing to do with that way. That's not the way to go about it, but I mean, it's better than nothing. If a woman sees she can't get married for some reason or other, she wants to have a child, I mean, it has to be done with the supervision of Rabbanim and everything. I don't see what's wrong. I think it's anything wrong. On the contrary, it's commendable. A woman to want to have a child, she knows she can't get married, she wants to have a child. It's under supervision of Rabbanim, everything is kosher 100%, the Madrin. I don't see what's wrong with it. I don't see what. I do, Rabbi. Well, come on. Okay. So that is 151, that paragraph, Kuf Aleph. I think we can go to the next one. Let's go on. Kuf Aleph, Kuf Vav, on the bottom of the page. When a Jew davens and he attaches himself to Hashem, call it nafuk. In other words, he's davening properly, meaning to say he is interested only in that connection to Hashem. He's totally focused. He's not thinking about what's going on around him at all. So when a shamayim, a call goes out, se'ena or re'ena, but don't see him. They call out this pasuk Mishir Hashir. Take a look. Kloma, Misha Eino Roy Liyichud Zeh Lo Nichalei Yetzei. Se'eno. V'zeh Se'eno. Misha Roy Lezeh, but a person who does appreciate this connection and he wants that dveikus, Nichalei Yira. Let him look. V'zeh Re'ena. What is he to look? Let's go to the next page, 152. Shomin Aklipas calls that when the kochos in the world hear this call that comes up in the Shemayim, they see him being successful, so they're going to try and to confuse him and disturb him. With what? The Machshava Zara, Tanuki Hasman, the Hachacham, the person who's aware of this, that he's going to be attacked because he's doing a good job and they're going to come after him. HaChacham Yizdabek B'Avas B'Yiras Habari Yizbarach. He makes a clenched fist, and he says, I'm not going to let them disturb me. I'm not going to let it happen. Those thoughts that he just had offer up sparks to Hashem Hashemayim. The unbeliever, Mali ledabek before me is hadama. Why am I going to let these things come in and disturb me? I better attach myself to the source of life. Shu koach mikochas Hashem Yisborach. Shu ha'chochma k'mo shenamar kula b'chochma asisa. This is coming from the Kesef Shem Tov, from the Baal Shem Tov himself. Okay.
How to do this?
Look, when you person davens, we all experience this. There's nobody who is completely free of this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who davens has problems with all kinds of machshavas that come to the mind. What is the person supposed to do when that happens? When that happens, the first thing a person has to do is stop in your tracks. You stop davening. You stop saying words. To say words which are empty is a disgrace. As if you're talking to Hashem, He sees in your mind there's somebody else, and you're verbalizing words, empty words, which absolutely nothing is gained by it at all.
Yes, but how is the wording of mutar?
No, so you stop, and you say, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm going to control myself, and I'm going to go back to the words. I'm going to attach myself to Hashem, to the words, to the source of life. The going back to Him. I'm not going to let these strange thoughts come into my mind. And then you continue on with this one. So after you have committed yourself, right now, I'm holding myself back. I'm not letting this come into my mind. I'm clearing my mind from it. And sometimes you might want to use the pasuk Shivisi Hashem L'Negdi Summit. You can, in your mind, you have to use your imagination. You have to picture the Shem Hashem. Yud Hey Vav Hey. I want to attach myself to the ostios. Yud Hey Vav Hey. You think of the Yud Hey Vav Hey in your mind, and you want to attach yourself to that. That will chase away all the machshavas zoros, and then calmly you get back to the words, and you think of what the words are. Now,
is it ever, I'm sure it's not, but is it ever permissible just to say, I don't have it today? I don't have it. I can't focus on this.
well, where are you? When you? At what time? What part of the day are you going to say that? Where are you in the middle of davening when you're saying that? When are you going to say that?
Just say, you know what, my mind's not here today.
Well, if you already started Shemona Esrei, so I would stop and stand still and try to get yourself back on track and not let these things. It's a good thing. What I just suggested, very interesting. Put into your mind the oistius Yud Hey Vav Hey. Shvisi Hashem L'Negdi Summit. David HaMelech said it, and it's not just thinking of Hashem as if He's in front of you, but think of the letters in your mind. Get your mind focused on the letters, and that will reattach you. And then you see when you calm down, and all these things now, when you have that dveikus that we just spoke about before, you're davuk, you're attached to it, you're thinking about, you're focusing on that, all the other disturbances will fall away, and then you can calmly go back to daven. And it's a very good thing to have a sitter in front of you and put your finger on the words. But the finger will help you focus on the words. And the Baal Shem Tov gave us a very easy trick. Very easy trick to make the davening easier for us. If you look at the Arizal, who gives you all the kavanos, and Rabbi Chaim Vital, who wrote it down, it's like, Shemona Esrei should take an hour and a half. Have all those kavanos. You have to be trained for years and years to be able to go through all that. The Baal Shem Tov says, I know what the situation is. Not everybody can have those kavanos. So what did the Baal Shem Tov say? Baal Shem Tov, we learned this in the very beginning when we started our shiurim on the Tefillah of Baal Shem Tov. In Parshas Noach, there's a sentence, and Hashem told Noach and his family, Bo el HaTeva. come into the ark. Come into the ark. So the word teva means an ark. It also means a word. The word teva is the Hebrew translation for the word word, a word. So Baal Shem Tov says, do exactly what the word's saying. Think of yourself going into the word, into the letters of the word. You're diving into the letters of the word. Become part of the letter. You have your finger on the word, you're becoming part of the aleph, part of the beis, part of the gimel. You're thinking, go into the word, and you're saying it, and you don't have to think about anything else. That's just, becoming part, dissolving myself into the word. So the word goes up out of my mouth, it goes up in some kind of koach, ruchani, it goes up. My whole self is going up with the word. That's a very easy way, but yeah.
So isn't there some halacha that if a person is under extreme duress and pain, that he's exempted from having to
And there's
daven?
a shorter version too, right?
Yeah, sure. If you can't daven, you can't daven.
Right.
So you have to.
I mean, because if you're in pain, that's the reason why you can't concentrate too.
It's possible, yes. It's possible. If you realize you can't, you can. Right? Can. So you have to try very hard to calm down and relax. And after you get yourself together again, then you try. You try. You're absolutely right. If you can't daven, you can't daven.
But isn't there a shorter version for, I don't know,
There is a.
Gemara?
There is a shorter version for Davening, but that's not for us. It's not for us. We have to know. Okay. Take a look at the next piece there in Kuf Gimel, on 152, Kuf Gimel. Shemaiti Memorizals. This is the Talmud, the Baal Shem Tov. We heard a pasuk in Tillim explain according to the inyan we're talking about. Tachin libam takshiv oznecha. David Delva says, if you translate it literally, Tachin libam, David Melch is saying, you prepare their hearts and you listen. That's the way you translate it at proper grammar. Tachin libam, you prepare their hearts, takshiv oznecha, and let your ears listen to what's coming out after their hearts are prepared. But we understand it differently. We understand that as we're talking to ourselves. We have to prepare our hearts, and then Hashem will listen. Tachin libam, they prepare their hearts, then Takshiv Oznecha, then Hashem, his ears will pick up what we say after our hearts are there. Rotzaloma, Chisiman zem mosnu bi'arodah. The Baal Shem Tov is saying that this is for the person to know where he stands, to evaluate himself. She'im nizdamein sheyuchad lahachin libo lispalel, as you was talking about now, if you have a situation where you can prepare yourself, you can collect your thoughts to daven properly, in front of his Baruch Shemo, b'li machshava zora, you can do it without extraneous thoughts. I'll call panim. Then you should know b'techilu u'rechimu kol echad lefi madregoso. Everyone according to his level. There's a certain amount of ava and a certain amount of yira. Oz yeda ki niskabla tefillah hahu. That will be a simon that you see if you put your mind to organizing yourself and standing in Kadosh Baruch Hu with the proper mindset. Then that's a simon that your tefillah will be accepted. It's a simon. Tachin libam, you have made the hachana, prepared your heart, your emotions, everything. You're ready to address the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Then takshiv oznecha, then Hashem will listen. V'zeh shalom tachin libam takshiv oznecha. Ki v'eishim espalel yuchal leidash etekubal v'takshiv oznecha. So he's telling you right now. Here he says you could know yourself if your tefillah was accepted or not. How could you know? If you were able to daven without distractions and you put effort into it, then you can know that takshiv oznecha, Hashem will be listening to what you said.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
We have been told for several months, and we had discussion about this, Amot Sholet Taleb.
Yes.
But here he speaks Tahin Dimchem, not Amoach.
Right.
I had a discussion because for me, the Maggid of message says that the lev comes before, or kind of a superior push. Whilst the Rebbe says Amoach shoret belev. And here he says lev.
Lev, correct. So I would think that when he talks about the lev over here, he really means both. He really means both. I mean, if a person is emotionally upset, so you have to have your rational side, your mental side, to control it and calm it down. You're emotionally upset, and you're not upset.
Yeah, but this is the consequence.
What do you mean?
It comes first, the lev comes first. If the lev is going out of the derech,
Yeah.
then the moach comes in. But at the beginning, there is the lev.
Yeah, but your mind is always here. I mean, if you don't have a mind, so you're not a person. You can't be alive without a mind. I mean, the point is, it's true. It's true. You always have to be at a point where you do not allow your emotions to rule over you. If the emotions are good emotions and they're favorable and helpful, adirabah, it's very good. If you feel love for Hashem, it's wonderful. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you're not feeling that and you want to feel it, you have to start to think of things that will make you want to have the love for Hashem. That's what you have to do. In your mind, you have to think of things which will make you have that feeling of you want to connect with Hashem. That's what so you have to have your mind to do that. The lave is I don't know.
It's the Maggid of message speaks of Mocha Chakmoni, Chusha Chakmoni,
Chusha
Akadmoni,
Akadmoni.
which is it's something that goes beyond your understanding. It comes from above.
Okay. I mean, it could be, but I have to see it inside. I mean, I'm not familiar with that text, but I would have to see it inside. I just want to say one thing. And this is an important thing. We have in the Torah, and we have an entire two Masechtas in the Torah, which deal with, actually three Masechtas, deal with subjectivity. So we always are interested in objectively, what's the facts? What are facts? What's the truth? Forget about the personal connection to it. What are the facts? You want to deal with the facts. What is be'etzem? What's going on in truth? Well, we have three Masechtas in the Torah, and these are all the Rises and the three Masechtas in Shas, which deal with totally the subjective. We spoke about one last week. We spoke about when a woman makes a neder. Well, you weren't here. When a woman makes a neder, and her husband is mavatal the neder. So is there a neder or is there no neder? If a husband has the koach, min hachol, it's not a b'derabbanan, the koach of the husband to mavatal his wife's neder. So he canceled the neder. Now she doesn't know about it. And she was over on her neder. She transgressed her neder. Does she need a slicha and a kapara or not?
Yes.
Absolutely. She needs slicha and kapara. Why? There's no neder. The husband was back to the neder.
Intention.
But there's no neder. She wasn't over on anything. Her husband didn't tell her that he was back to the neder. She thinks it's enough.
Lemafreya.
Doesn't make a difference. Whatever it is, it became bad.
Lemafreya became bad.
Let me say, not Gidul Afreya. Not Afreya. But here's about, she needs a slicha and kapara. So what do you see from here? You see that the whole parsha of Neder and Nazirus is the same thing. A Nazir is a person who took on Nazirus b'neder. I said for 30 days I'm not going to drink any wine, I'm not going to cut my hair. Minimum of 30 days to be a Nazir. And no one forcing him. It's only subjective. Only dependent on his machshava. And he says the words, and I'm going to make an edit. And shua is the same thing. A person who makes a shua, it has a validity, has a halachic value, even though objectively there's nothing here. It's all subjective.
But the finite can only be subjective.
The finite?
The finite being can only be subjective
Why?
because we're limited. Objectivity is about a view that is encompassing of everything, which we're not capable of doing.
No, we can't accomplish everything. All right. Okay, and maybe, I mean, this Indian, we find a not finite, I didn't need to think about that at all. But the point is, and this is the main point, that what I do and what I feel, what I think, has actual an effect in the world and on myself and on the world. Otherwise, why should I need a sleep and a kapara when the neder was canceled? There is no neder, but in my mind there is a neder. In my mind there's a neder. Now, because it's my construction, understand this very carefully. If a neder has a halachic value, how can I be mavatal? How can you make hataras nedara? How could that happen? Why does it happen? Why is it possible? A neder was made. I'm chayav. I take on the zirus as a neder. I want to be a nazir for a year. How can I change it? I have to let my hair grow. I can't drink wine. Can't be matama to mason. I have all kinds of halachas of nazirus. Now let's say in the middle of it, I see it's too hard for me. I can't go on a whole year. It's too hard. 30 days I could do it, but not the whole year. And I took on the nazirus for a whole year. What do I do now? The answer is, I can myself be mavatal my own neder. How do I do that? How do I do that? Well, I go to a Rav and I say, I see that I can't go on with it. It's much too long. I want to be mavatal it. So the Rav says to me a very simple question. You have charata? Did you ever made the neder? I said, I have charata. I never made the neder.
With Karata?
Charata. If you think about the nusach of Kol Nidrei on Yom Kippur night, acharatna b'hom. Acharatna b'hom, I have charata. If you take the neder and say, I'm sorry I ever mentioned it to begin with. I want to uproot the neder from its very inception, as if I never made it. Then you can mevatel neder. That's all you need. That's all you need. Now, how is it possible? If I don't make the charata, if I don't have charata, it binds me. And if I'm a nazir, not only does it bind me, at the end of my naziris, I have to bring korbanos, and the whole process. And I can go along and come and say, I have charata. I'm sorry I made the neder. I'm sorry. From now on, I'm sorry. Until now, I was happy with the neder. From now on, I want to take off the neder. Yet you can't do with charata. When you have charata, you have to be anchored the neder me'ikaro from its inception, as if you never made it. Why is it possible? Why is it possible? You know why it's possible? Because it's not objective. It's totally subjective. I made it, I can destroy it. But you have to destroy it from the very beginning. Not you're happy with it for a month, and after a month you decide you don't want it anymore. No. There's no such thing. It's not half and half. You have to take it off completely from the beginning. Because there's something lacking here in the perfection of the whole concept. It's not objective. There's not an objective truism here. It's something which is totally dependent on me. Since I was the one who created it, I therefore can destroy it. But I have to destroy it from the very beginning. So what is the whole point? What am I bringing those up?
What does that mean from the beginning? Like he never became a Nazir in the first place?
Right. I'm sorry I ever said it. From the beginning. I started on the 1st of, whatever it is, 1st of November. The 1st of November is a regular day for me. I never said anything. From the beginning. It doesn't exist. Why can I do that? Because it's not something which is objective. It's only something which I created subjectively, and therefore I am in a sense control over it. If I made it, and I uprooted from the very beginning, then it's uprooted. If it was something which is beyond my control, I didn't make it, somebody else made it, there's an objective truism, I can't come along and mess around with that. Because I'm not the Baal Bus. But if I am the Baal Bus, I made it myself, I can therefore unmake it too. So the point is what? It's all with a person's kavanah. Oh, they see how important the kavanah is. The kavanah can have a person not have any reality at all, like the case of the woman who made the neder. She doesn't know her husband will vatal it. Nevertheless, in her mind, there's still some effect. There's some damage was done. She was over on the neder. She made a pagam in her neshama. And if you make a pagam in her neshama, it's connected to the world too, because every person has a mission. We're all connected. We're all here for a reason. We have connection, and therefore it's necessary to have a slicha in the kapara, even though it's totally subjective. So the kavanah and the individual side of it has a very, very important place in davening. We see how important it is. Well, if you don't have the kavanah, then there's a lot missing. You can't daven. As you brought out before, you see it. You can't focus. Don't start davening. Don't even start. You're putter. You're an onus. You're so upset. You had a very, very terrible experience. You're so upset you can't settle down. Don't even start davening. You're a putter. You're an onus. Don't start davening. Just don't go through the mission because the time for mincha came. It's daven mincha. It's not a davening. It's nothing. It's not worth anything.
Before the Quora, one doesn't have to say Shat is being commanded to put tefillin.
Yes, you're putter. It's putter from all mitzvahs. Correct. All mitzvahs. Correct. Right. Okay, when are we holding? Just about the end. Okay, so we'll stop over here, and it's a Shem till next week.